thought it was beneficial using the knees to turn and keep your ankles locked. I know that's something I'm working on in skiing, so that was really beneficial.
Great.
I could really feel how, especially once we got towards the end and we're feeling all the things on our foot and it transferring all the way up through our leg, how that could translate into making turns while you're skiing.
Good. And really for me, it's about, I kind of wamble in the boots because my boots always get too loose. And so really being able to connect with the boot and not necessarily need the boot. My cousin always said, you don't buckle your boots till the third run. It's like, really? But he was a great skier. And I think that's what he was able to do, was be able to keep his connection with the bottom of the boot and the side of the boot by just this subtle movement of the ankle. So for snowboarders, is this applicable?
Yeah, I mean, ankles is a huge part of snowboarding, especially like opening and closing them. So putting a lot of pressure on your toes and opening your ankles, and then on your heel side, um, pushing your toes up into the sky and closing your ankles.
So and our Nordic guy, any comments?
Yes, your in Nordic your ski boots are much softer, and actually in classic skiing you have no ankle board in your ski boots, so you have all that freedom to move your ankle and to do all that work. And
Cool. All right, guys. So if there was one thing that you would take away, for me, it's just practicing tapping the outside edge of the boot. That's like something that you could do anywhere at any time, just as a way of loosening up the ankles and finding that connection from the ankle, and just really practice with it and see how far up your body you can feel it.
Hey guys, welcome to Awareness Through Movement with Jackie. We're excited to have everyone here, so take it away, Jackie.
Hi guys, so this is a lesson. I will say that you're seeing some weird shadows because we've changed our recording time, and it's dark out. But in a few weeks we will actually have some light, and the sun will get up over the top of Cannon at noon. So it's coming soon. I just wanted to mention that today was the inauguration, and as part of that celebration, there was a little segment on an adaptive basketball team. So in that segment, they had individual athletes in wheelchairs uh, catching the ball and doing some little trick and then passing it on. And it was really exciting to see adaptive athletes being recognized for their skill and recognized as real athletes in our community. So that's just totally cool. So this lesson was requested by Natasha, and she asked, could we have a lesson on ankles? Ankles. And so, yes, so this is a lesson on ankles. If you are in a chair, you want to get your foot rests as level as possible. And if it's at all possible that you can have your feet on a flat surface, so maybe if you want to pile up some blankets under your feet so that you've got a level surface for your feet, because having your feet against that flat surface is going to be helpful. Now, if you are an athlete like these basketball athletes today who really don't have access to your feet or your legs, but you use your hands for subtle mobility, you can translate this lesson into hands. I'll try to remember to give you some of those clues, but let me just lay it out right now. We're going to be thinking about the foot. We're going to be looking at the foot as a triangle with the heel and the ball of the foot, and this part right under the ring finger or the ring toe. So it's a triangle that provides support and gives you some real leverage. So if you are not an athlete who has access to your feet, you can definitely translate this to your hands. And I know that you athletes are really good at adapting. So give it a go. And the rules are be curious, be creative, and if it doesn't hurt, you're on the right track. So we're going to begin with a little exploration of your feet. And because it's winter, we're all going to have our socks on. You might have your feet barefoot, but we're going to start by exploring the heel. So you can actually like just get your hand on that heel if it's available to you and just feel what that's like. And just, what is my heel like? How do I feel it? How hard is it? Where is the back of it? And then the ball of the foot, so right under the big toe. And maybe you can find some of those joints where these bones and the toe kind of connects with this ball of the foot. And then we're going to make a big deal about the second to last toe, the fourth toe. You could call it the ring toe. And we're going to really explore how to get support from this ring toe right to the heel. And we're going to use that for really pushing off with the ski and finding stability with the foot, especially in skating and in balancing the ski side to side. So see if you can find that and see what that's like. And then you can try the other foot. So again, checking out the heel and the ball of the foot and feeling what that's like. Maybe kind of check out the relationship of the toe to the ball of the foot. And then this ring toe right under there, there's a pad. And exploring the line from here to the heel on the bottom of the foot. You might also try tracing the bone right here on the top of the foot and just see what that's like. And then when you're ready, after you've done that a little bit, just let your feet rest on the floor and see if you can find that triangle, or I'm going to call it the tripod. See if you can find that just as you let your feet rest on the floor. And take a deep breath. Get yourself up on the edge of the chair if that's comfortable for you. We do this often because when we're up at the edge, we have more mobility and we can really feel those sit bones. And just noticing how your feet feel against the floor. That's good. That's good. Okay. So we've got some feet, we've got some knees. Feeling the feet resting on the floor and just feeling where you feel the ground. So some of us have the habit of kind of rolling the foot in a little bit, and some of us have a habit of rolling the foot out a little bit. Some people are kind of, I guess that's duck-toed, and some people are a little bit pigeon-toed. So just notice for you, where do you just naturally land? What's your habit? And then let's just take a minute to take a deep breath. So breathing down into the belly. And then if you've ever done any martial arts, you might know that In the martial arts, they call the bottom of the foot right here, right in the center there, they call it the bubbling well. And that's because if you're tuned in, you might actually be able to feel your energy go right down into the floor. And some practitioners can even feel the energy coming up. So take a deep breath down and see if you can actually connect with your breath right down into the floor. And if that sounds too weird, don't worry about it. But if you've done some martial arts, then you might connect with that. And now we're going to start with the left knee. I'm mirroring you. So you're just going to let your right knee be. Your left knee is going to tip out a little bit and tip out and back in. And then start to bring your focus down to the foot. So the knee tips out and you maybe roll a little to the outside edge of the foot. That's it. Good, that's it. And then bring your attention to the outside bone of the ankle. And what we're going to do is we're going to now bring the attention to the ankle. So as the knee tips out, you start to feel the ankle. And then very slowly, less and less movement in the knee, and you start to rock the ankle back and forth. So it's kind of like this. And the movement is now just in the ankle. So you're rocking that ankle out and horizontal. And you might notice that as you rock that ankle out, the arch of the foot lifts a little bit. So see what that's like. So knee now stays in the center, and it's as if the outside of the ankle is tapping the outside of the boot. So you're tapping your ski boot with the outside ankle. That's it. Good, that's it. That's exactly right. So feeling what it's like to tap the outside, tap the edge of the boot with the ankle, and then you can let that go. And just notice now you've done a little bit of loosening up that ankle. You might compare it to the other ankle. And then let's do the other side. So now again, you drop the knee out and in and out and in, and then you bring your attention to the foot. And you start to feel how you roll onto the outside edge of the foot. That's it, outside edge of the foot. And then bring your attention to the ankle, and you begin to think about using the outside bone of the ankle to tap the ski boot. And slowly you do less and less movement of the knee, and it's just the ankle tapping the outside of the boot. That's it. Nice. So the ankle is kind of going across and back, and as it comes across, you might notice that the arch of the foot lifts a little bit. Good. And let that go. And just notice now how your feet are resting against whatever the ground is for you. It might be your footrests, it might be the floor. And then let both ankles roll out so that you're tapping the outside of both boots with both ankles. So your ankles are kind of going out like that. Good. And if you were doing this with your hands, you'd be kind of tapping out with your wrists like that. Finding that movement. So you're rolling, you're tapping the outside edge of the boot and back, and your knees are steady and quiet. Good, that's it. Right, right, right. Good. And let that go. Take a rest. So the foot has 26 bones and 33 joints, which means that some bones have multiple joints, or they're involved with multiple joints. The foot has two purposes. One is to be nice and soft so that it can rest on any surface. You know, we're out on the savannah and the ground is uneven. So when the foot is soft, it can adapt to any surface. So just feel what it's like now to just let your foot relax and be soft for a moment. Just really spread out. See if you can feel the floor underneath you. Feel your ground. Now, the other function of the foot is to propel. And in order to propel, the foot needs to be rigid. So when the foot is soft, those 33 joints are not really doing anything, but when we want to propel, when we want to start to run, when we want to be solid in the boot and turn the ski or turn the board or skate, then we want those joints to lock in. And that's what we're going to look at again. So as you roll the ankle out, just notice how some of the joints start to lock in as you do that. Good. Now, on the arm, this bone doesn't move, but the radius is how the arm twists. On the leg, the knee only goes like this, but in order for the foot to move, it's this side bone, it's the fibula. So we're just going to take a minute to kind of find that bone. So let your hand kind of drop to the outside of your knee and do that movement again of having the ankle tap the outside of the boot and see if you can find that top of the bone. You can feel it kind of moving outward. And then if you can, trace it down, right down into the ankle. And you might notice that the big bone out there is the end. It's the other end of that bone. So see what that's like. To notice now that it's the ankle that can rotate the foot, but at the other end, it's kind of stabilizing the knee. Good. And do the other side. Check out the other side. See what that's like. And the two sides might be different. And, you know, for some of us, that's just the way it is. But see what that's like on both sides. And then here's a challenge. Can you use the top of the fibula to turn the foot? So that's kind of a bit of a challenge to see if you can move the foot from this top of the knee. And we have a dog sighting. It's good. The dog wants to be part of the lesson. It's all good. And then the little one too. Good. Let that go for a minute and we'll just rest. And now take again a moment to let your feet really be soft against the floor. And then maybe roll those ankles out again and see if you can find the difference in that foot that's released against the floor, released against the bottom of the boot. And then you want to make a turn and you tap that ankle against the outside of the boot and you find that the arch of the foot lifts a little. Good. Good. All right. Now we're going to listen before you do. we're going to explore now this line from this fourth metatarsal from the ring toe down to the heel. So what we're going to do is let one knee drop out. Let's see if I can show you this without losing it all. So one knee is going to drop out, and the side of the foot's going to rest against the floor, and then the other foot is going to sit on top of it like this. So, but have it against the floor. So your one foot, the outside edge is against the floor, and then the other foot sits on top. That's it. Good. And then can you line it up so that that fourth metatarsal, so the line from here to the heel kind of rests right on the instep. See if you can find that. See if you can find that line. Good. And now let that outside ankle tap the outside of the boot. So the ankle is sliding across and your foot is kind of rocking over the other foot. Yep, that's it. That's it. Good. And the more you can let the lower foot, the foot that's against the floor, you can have the edge of the foot against the floor. That's it. Nice. And then let that outside ankle tap, tap, tap. Good. That's it. Love the slippers. Tap, tap, tap. And notice now how you can really feel the arch of the foot. Keep your toes soft. I know when I first started skiing, I was terrified. And I would grip my toes and my feet would be freezing and I couldn't turn. So use this as a moment to really practice having soft toes as you slide that ankle across to tap, tap, tap. That's it. And then let's go the other way. So now the inside ankle is going to roll inward. So now you're doing something we would call pronation. We would call that pronating. And just notice what that's like. Again, you want to make sure that you're rolling over that line if you can. And you're keeping your knee soft. You guys are doing great with that. So inward, inward,